I was in my mid-20s, had been married for 5 years by this point, and found myself in a huge amount of debt, like a very significant amount of debt. It's taken me years to acknowledge why I got to that place, and realizing that all of this unacknowledged habits and ways of being in the world could be handed to him. So I remember I was at my godson's birthday party, and I got a call from a debt collector, like, we're coming round. And knowing that this was it, like this was a rock bottom. I had nowhere to run at that point. And I had to tell my wife. I remember going throughout the rest of this birthday party, like a kid's birthday party, it's not in your stomach, like I've been caught, like this is it. And telling my wife and confessing, and that being the first of a number of times that happened. And so you fast forward to last year, and I got this boy on the way, and I'm thinking, how do I deal with this? Like, how do I fully deal with this once and for all? And the generational realities of it that have led me here. Is it prayer and ministry? Is it therapy? Both of which I've done throughout my life. And I decided to engage in the 12-step process of Gamblers Anonymous, Debtors Anonymous, realizing I have a problem here, and the first step is I have realized this is unmanageable. Like, I need help. And this sounds drastic, but felt like I met the God that I had never really dared believe was with me and was true throughout all of this. Like the extent to which I'd held God at bay in this particular area of my life is devastating when I look back on it now. Like, devastating because I'd allowed God into every other part of my life but this one. Why? Shame. To fully acknowledge it was to allow all these spiritual pillars that I'd built to validate it would cause them to crumble. Like, I'd put God in this box of, one day you'll bring breakthrough to all of this, so it will all make sense. So if I bring you in now and your posture in it is, Josh, there's a problem here, and I want to heal you more than I want to relieve you of this debt. I want to heal you. I want to be with you in it. Finding the God that is the God that's revealed in the story of Jacob. Jacob's the hustler. Like, Jacob's the man I relate to more than anyone else in Scripture. Jacob fools his father into blessing him. Jacob pretends to be his brother to fool his dad, Isaac, into blessing him. And I relate so much to that story. I relate so much to the feeling of, I need to pretend I'm someone else to get God's blessing. Like, I can't let you fully into this space. So then Jacob has this blessing, but it's kind of like this, it's like a pseudo blessing. Like it was a blessing reserved for his brother, and he receives it. He's running from his brother. And every time I go into a recovery, every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. when I go to my 12-step meeting, this is my personification of a moment in Jacob's life where he meets with God, and God effectively says, I want to throw down, like, I want to wrestle with you. Like, Jacob, you've been running for so long. And Jacob puts up a really good fight. Like, it almost appears like Jacob is overpowering God, exhausting God, which is another thing I relate to. Like, you could get around God, and then almost in like a parent wrestling with a child, almost like God, allowing Jacob to believe he's about to be defeated. In that moment, God just touches Jacob's hip and locks him out of place and, overcomes him. And I remember being in a recovery meeting, having this thought, it is an honor to be overcome by God. Like, it is an honor to be defeated by God. That might sound really abstract, but to someone who's had a part of their life that they've been running from for so long, it is an absolute honor to feel defeated in a part of your life where you have become accomplished and victorious, and it's cost you so much. Like, it's cost you full connectedness with people around you and full connectedness and intimacy with God. It's an honor to lie flat, panting, exhausted, because God has overwhelmed you in His grace and in His presence. I feel hope where I felt absolute despair. I feel serenity, a growing state of serenity where I felt absolute anxiety. And it's not because I'm debt-free, it's because I found the God who wrestles with me, and I found the God who wants nothing more than my fully authentic self.